political advisor and the founder of the group GOP Women for Biden. She joins us live from Washington, D.C. Rina, good to see you.
Good to see you.
You know, you look at those poll numbers and there are fewer people who think that Biden should run again than people who approve of the job he's doing. Could this have something to do with the fact that he is 80 years old? And there have been many questions asked about whether he has the energy to do this again.
Well, I believe it's less about energy and it's more about the simple fact that we have not had an octogenarian in the White House. He is the oldest US president. And by election day 2024, we're looking at the age of 82 for this great senator, great former vice president, and now US president. It tells us that this is a person that has had a long history of public service. Should this person continue to be the standard bearer for an America that has a Gen Z that is ready to get some new ideas, fresh perspectives, not just into the ether, but really legislate on these values. It was Gen Z that delivered the White House for Joe Biden. And we should be very careful to talk about who is waiting in the wings for the Democratic nomination. It just may not be Biden anymore.
Yeah, so who else is out there? I mean, who's being talked about right now as other Democratic possibilities? If the party wants to be the progressive, inclusive, young party as an alternate to Donald Trump, why is there nobody else at this point?
Well, Donald Trump is only 3 years younger than Joe Biden. And look, right now it's him and former governor of South Carolina, Nikki Haley, who are the top two people in the GOP primary. I think we are still very, very early on in the process. And a lot of political experts say, no, we're getting so close. It's right around the corner. But what we see in this era of politics that is so not only hyper polarized, but we have an era where we're just technologically connected to the ballot box in a way that we were not before. I think anything's possible to change. And one such idea I have is a strategy that I think Democrats may be employing. It was one we saw that former Speaker Nancy Pelosi employed. She sort of stayed the course and really didn't let on as to who her successor would be until suddenly she passed the baton and she was applauded for it. And we had Hakeem Jeffries come out as the leader of the Democrats. I think something similar could be at play here. We could get somebody that we don't really think is going to be the
Yeah.
next successor. Mayor Pete Buttigieg, of course, who is now heading up the Department of Transportation, he's been talked about a lot. But current Vice President Kamala Harris is not being whispered and buzzed about. So it leads me to believe there could be somebody else that's a Democrat out there, perhaps in Congress, that could have this similar moment that Hakeem Jeffries had when Nancy Pelosi passed the baton to him.
Yeah, I mean, those polling numbers should be something of a worry to Biden, correct?
Well, look, if 2016 taught us anything, it's that we shouldn't believe the polls. And I don't believe that we are sitting in this moment where there is this large delta, really, between Trump and Biden, because what we've seen from the Republicans is that there is not just a frustration about the economy, but there are other things that they believe the Democrats and this Biden administration haven't done well. That's things like immigration, not just the problem of fentanyl and those overdose deaths, but also public safety. Now, I'm keeping out gun violence by purpose and design there because that's a very different, sort of different mode there we're talking about, because Republicans, again, are very supportive of gun rights and the Second Amendment. But again, economy, immigration, and public safety, those are the areas where Republicans can come in. Somebody like a Governor Ron DeSantis could come in and push back on this Biden administration. And suddenly those independent voters, which are so important to 2024, have that opening to think about a Republican nominee at that moment.
Yeah, good points. All right, Rina, thanks.
Thank you.